Howdy, Possum Patty here, little Chi-Chi too. And well, today we're just gonna do a little bit of journaling. Come on along. Well, the holidays are over. It was a very busy time, and just before Christmas, the Friday and Saturday, right after the storm, our power went out. We had no electricity, but we have a generator that ran a few lights and a few things, but still it wasn't very Christmassy without running the Christmas lights and a Christmas tree. But anyway, power's back on. Great Christmas day with the fam. I'm going to journal about that on another day, and I have some other Christmas adventures to journal about too. And today was supposed to be music lesson, but yes, there was a flood at my music school, and good thing the teacher was there in the office, or else he probably would have lost everything. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Anyway, I wish him the best of luck. He's got to rip up the rugs. He's got to tear the walls out to 3 feet. I guess the plaster, they rip it out 3 feet and redo the whole thing. Oh my gosh. I don't know when we'll get back to lessons unless he goes to Zoom or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's got to take care of that poor thing. I feel really sorry for him. And he said there weren't too many instruments that were damaged. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will get back to normal very shortly. It's not a good thing right after the holidays or between the holidays, or a way to start the new year, right? So anyway, but we wound up going out and doing a lot of errands today, some of which we were going to do on the way to music and back. But anyway, so wound up doing several errands and spending the most of the day running around here and there, waiting in line for this, waiting in line for that. And so, yeah, I'm just going to do a journal page, and let me go explain it over there on the table. So here's the story. Back towards the end of October, Mr. Possum and I took Flat Stanley to sort of like a historical demonstrations at a town close by, and one of the demonstrations was about flint knapping. Now, flint knapping, if you don't know, is a skill that was used by Native Americans and other cultures around the world since the Stone Age, tens of thousands of years. And you take certain kinds of stone, like this is an obsidian that we collected in the Black Hills in the Dakotas, and when obsidian or flint or chert or chalcedony, something like that, when you chip it with another harder rock, it chips in this very smooth, sort of like dish shape. The chips come off like that. It's rounded, almost like I can fit my finger right there. So as you chip it, it makes these shapes. But anyway, it leaves a very sharp point. So if you keep chipping at it, you'll wind up with like an arrowhead or a spearhead or a cutting tool. You know, you can use it for anything if you want to cut meat or skin an animal or something. So you keep chipping at it so you've got a nice sharp point there, and it's, of course, much thinner than this. So Mr. Possum wanted to learn how to do some flint knapping, which is the skill of chipping away at a piece of rock until you've got a nice arrowhead, spear point, or cutting tool. So we went to watch this fellow do this demonstration. His name is Bob Inman, and he had a whole collection of rocks. Well, Stanley and I, we love our rocks. Mr. Possum is interested in the history and the skill, but Stanley and I were interested in the rocks. Oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful rocks. And so Stanley wanted his picture taken with the rocks. And I have that here. And then this is Mr. Inman, Bob Inman, who was working a stone in his lap there. And I'll put a little video of him towards the end. So anyway, so I've known since the end of October that I wanted to do this journaling page. And I had this Native American boy. This is from a magazine. It's Oklahoma Tourism. You can go to their website and order a pack of tourist materials, and they'll send you all kinds of brochures and everything about all the things you can do in Oklahoma. And I wanted to use this picture. Now, this picture is so big, and I even had to cut part off there, that I knew this was the only journal it was going to fit in. So I put this aside to use it. And then I couldn't find it. But then I found it again. And I lost... Of course, I just lost it now. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So Bob gave us this little piece of flint that was just a chip off of the piece that he was working on. So I wanted to put this in a journal. Now, this already weighs 7 pounds, and, you know, this is what I need to do, right? Is put in a rock, all right? I'm going to put a rock in my 7-pound journal. Anyway, so then I found the rock. But then I lost this again. And so then I found this again, and I put it on the desk so I wouldn't forget where it was. And then I misplaced the rock, and then I found the rock again. And then I found this again. All right, let me get this in the journal. Oh, my gosh. Maybe this has happened to you. Maybe not. I don't know. But things like this happen to me all the time. I put it somewhere so I know where it is, and then I don't remember where it was. So I took a page, you know, because I'm trying to use this Amazon catalog that I bought. Pages like this. As part of my Christmas journaling, and some of the pages have these little scenes on them, like this down here. So that's kind of cool. And so I put this sort of like a maze, but the theme is like adventures. And, you know, Stanley loves his adventures, so I wanted to use this on the page also, because this is one of Stanley's adventures. And there's a little bit of Midwest or Old West over here. All different kinds of landscape here. But I thought, well, this would be cool. So I'd have the Indian boy, and I'd have the page from the journal. Now, the reason I left this big black area here, because there's like a circle says something right under there, and I thought it was kind of interfering with his face, so I just left that part. But then I tried to rip around his image a little bit so that you could see more of the map. So anyway, I like it. I like it. I have my Indian in the book, and I have a page from the Amazon catalog in the book. This is all good so far. I used double-sided tape this time to put these images in, because if you put a lot of glue on these thin magazine pages, they just get all wrinkly. And I'm not really good at doing that anyway. So I'm going to take the, you know, it looks like it's got a line in it. I wonder if something happened when that printed out. That's okay. And I am using this eco-dyed paper. It's very subtle. There's blues and greens and pinks on here, pinks and purples. And I put his picture. Okay, that's the flint napper, and he's going to go down. I can't see if that's in the camera. Yeah, a little bit. And put him down here. Sorry about the glare. And then I have Stanley and the rock, so I'm going to put him up here on the map. And I'm going to put this cellophane with the piece of flint that we got. And this is very sharp. It's got a very sharp edge on it. Like you could probably shave yourself with this. And I've got somewhere, this is terrible. I have so much stuff on this table. I've got to clean it off. There. Got another piece of that eco-dyed paper. And this is watercolor paper I used to do the eco-dyeing. And what I was going to do is something like maybe stick Stanley on there and sew this plastic bag on there like that. And then just glue them down somewhere. And then glue that whole thing down somewhere, and then put him in the corner. But I didn't want to cover too much of anything up, but I wanted this part to be seen. I could make this a little smaller. Or I was thinking of, if I stick Stanley onto the plastic bag and then sew it, then I could actually journal on this part over here. So if this will stick to the acetate, that might work. So I might make this a little bit smaller so it won't cover up so much territory. And if you don't sew, you can always glue things down. Yeah, so I think I'll make this a little smaller and put it down here. Put Mr. Inman over here. And that'll be it. I'm going to the sewing machine. Don't go away. I just put a zigzag stitch there across the top. I stuck Stanley's picture onto the outside of the acetate. I hope that stays. Got my piece of flint. I'm going to do some journaling here, and then I'm going to glue it down right there. So I put the date, October 22nd, 2022, Hebron, Connecticut, Bob Inman, Onondaga, Chert. The stone itself forms in limestone beds in western New York. Well, it forms a lot of other places, but this one is from western New York. And now I'm going to glue that in here. And this is just a quick page to get me back into the habit after all the holiday festivities and company and family activities. Wow. You say I haven't used my glue in a while. I haven't used anything in a while. And so I've got all my holiday journaling to do. I'm going to try and get it done. Finish this book up. My goal is to get it done before next week anyway. So we'll see if we can get that done. And then I still have my Tea Tuesday, my Trash Tuesday, and some nature journaling coming up. Not having power or the ability, well, I do have the ability, but just too hard to film without electricity. It just doesn't work for me. Because I'd have to move everything into the other room so I can get enough light. I did do a few things when the power was out. So one of the things that I did when the power was out was to reorganize my embroidery floss, because originally I had used these large rings, but they weren't working out on my Tea Tuesday journal, and so I went back and I stole all the medium-sized rings off of my embroidery floss organizers. And I had just thrown them in the bucket, and so I got them all out and reorganized them in the other room while the electricity was out. Oh. There we go. TJ was trying to stand on my computer. So, ends on this keep popping up, trying to push it down. What else? I did something else too. My mind just all over the place. Yeah, my whole routine is disrupted. And then today I thought we'd get back to normal. There is like not a spot on When this journal is on the table, there's like not a spot to put anything. I just had to put the cap on that. I didn't throw some stuff on the floor. Anyway. Yeah, but then there was the flood at music, so not back to normal schedule. Hopefully tomorrow will feel like a normal day. Maybe. I don't know why this wants to curl up. I should move this over a little bit so you can see. But that is all I am doing. And now I have to go find something for my next page. So I will put that in another video. I just wanted to post something after not posting for quite a while. Well, quite a while. It's only been a couple of days. To me, it feels like a really long time. Feels like a really long time since I've done any journaling. See how those corners pop up? Come on, stay down. So this is it. This is it, folks. I will be back with a Trash Tuesday, a Tea Tuesday, a Wander and Wonder at Nature Wednesday, or something like that. I haven't decided what to call them. I've called them a whole bunch of different things. Nature Journaling with Possum Patty. And Christmas Journaling, and another Stanley Adventure. And I'll just put a little clip of Bob at the end of the video. And hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, no matter what you celebrate. And I want to wish everybody, it's still December, happy December daily journaling, and happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.
Put on the end of an arrow, but you could use that as a tool. That is a sharp edge there. If you wanted to chop something, or you're gonna, anything you had to do, you could butcher an elk with it, or a deer. You could use it to, it is usable that way. But to thin it down into something smaller that you could put on a spear or an addle. So trying to even it out, trying to work it down into more to get it, just start out with something really rough and take off the odd angles and just keep thinning it down. So I'm trying to find what I want to take off now.
You want to go over your tools there?
Yeah. So there's the basic kind of there's a percussion flaking, which is what I'm doing here. I'm taking a percussion, it's like a drum, you hit it. So I'm using a hammer stone here. This is a quartzite hammer stone, and then I have some other softer hammer stone. This is what we call hard hammer percussion, because it's a hard hammer and you're hitting with it. And then there's a soft hammer percussion where you use antler billet. This is from a moose antler. This is the part that it's under the skull here. So that, you cut off all the fan on the top. So it's a pretty hard